who will come after us. And every now and then I wonder, what if Harriet said, well, let me just take a break. Let me go find a husband, have some children, do something else. What if she said that? He has worked as a research analyst as the nation's leading black think tank, the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies. While at the Joint Center, Mr. Carney worked with civic associations in West Africa, providing training on research, methodology, and survey. He has served as the interim Africa Working Group coordinator for Reverend Jesse Jackson while he was special envoy to Africa. Mr. Carney also worked as a research consultant to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, addressing issues such as the socio-political condition of African American communities. Let us welcome the executive director of the Friends of the Congo, Maurice Carney. You know, it is nothing like finally realizing what your life's work is, because some of us go through our whole lifetime and never quite figure out what it is that we're here to do. You know, and for some of us, it's many things. But for most of us, there's that one particular thing that the ancestors and the Creator said, I need you to do this. And some of us miss that because of fear. You know, because of comfort zones, because of what others might think. These panelists here are very clear on what their life's purpose is, and we're very grateful for the example that they set for us and for me. Let us hear from our sister, Chantal Mpizo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chantal Lukeba Mbuzi Pezo, and I'm 24 years old, so I may be the youngest. I'm the CEO of Embrace the Sky Incorporated, and it's a youth-based nonprofit organization here in Atlanta where we give young people of all ethnic backgrounds the opportunity to express themselves politically, socially, and artistically. I have here with me my Chief Operating Officer, Mona Kiantandu, right there, and my Director of Intercultural Affairs, Devin Carr, next to her. We're all graduates of the University of West Georgia, and we came together to unify the youth. That's the mission of Embrace the Sky, is giving the youth a voice and guiding the youth to unity. We are also the sponsors of the Miss Congo Unity Pageant, which took place last year. And the Miss Congo Unity Pageant, first of all, the motto was, it's not about beauty, but unity. And one of the things that I realized as a young Congolese American, a young Congolese female, is that in the Congolese community, there was a lot of division, especially amongst the young people, especially amongst the young women. And what I set out to do was bring young women together so that they can have a platform to discuss what's going on in the Congo. A lot of them didn't know what was happening in the Congo. Some of them were born there and they'd come here when they were small. Some of them were already in school, but they had no idea what was going on in Eastern Congo. They were saying, well, you know, my parents tell me not to get involved, don't worry about it, it's not my place to talk about it. And I just kept thinking to myself, well, we're Congolese. Shouldn't we be the first ones to tell people about it? Shouldn't we know about it? How's that possible that our parents are from there, we go to the parties, we listen to the music, we watch the TV shows, we watch the movies, but we have no idea what's going on. And so that's what the Miss Congo Unity Pageant was all about. It was to give those young women the platform to discuss those things, but also show that despite what's going on in the country, there are young people here from the Congo who are going to school, who are making differences in their communities, and who are trying to better themselves as Congolese people, that they're not just being lazy or just hanging out or doing frivolous things, that they're actually working hard and trying to learn and teach others about what's happening in the Congo. And so actually I'm here stepping in for Miss Congo Unity 2010, Mari Christelle. She's under the weather, and she was going to be here to talk to you about her platform, which is bringing the youth together. But one of the things that Embrace the Sky does is not just bring African youth together, or Congolese youth together, or African American youth together. It brings all youth together, all ethnic backgrounds. One thing that I've learned as I've grown up here is that I make white friends, I make Asian friends, I make Latino friends. And when we get together, we kind of find this bond like, oh, you guys do this, your culture does that, or you guys do this kind of dance, or you listen to this kind of music. And we find that kind of connection. And then when I say, do you know what's happening in the Congo? They're like, no. What? Where is the Congo anyway? I'm like, you don't know where it is? No, tell me about it. So then I explain the Congo is in Africa. It's the heart of Africa, actually. And they always say, oh, Zaire. There we go. That's the Congo. Well, what's going on there? People are dying in the Congo. Really? Where? Are you sure? How come I haven't heard about it? And sometimes I really don't know what to say, because just not that long ago, I didn't know what was going on. But I tell them, listen, if you want to know more about it, I'll tell you. And I proceed to tell them about the millions of people who've died, the thousands who've been raped. And they just kind of look at me like, are you serious? Really? How come I've never heard about it? And I figured it had a lot to do with the Congolese people who were here. They weren't talking about it. They weren't saying anything about it. If they weren't telling their children about it, they're definitely not telling anybody else. Why was that? Why were they so ashamed to tell people about it? Isn't the first thing to get things moving, to progress, or to make change is to talk about it, to tell people about it? But there was kind of a stigma attached to being Congolese in the first place. It's not a good thing to be Congolese. That's how the community felt. Well, some still feel that way. I was scared to go to Congo the first time I went. I didn't want to go. I was going to die if I went. But I went, and I realized I'm from here. My cousins, we have the same hands. Look at us. We look exactly the same. It could have been me who was in their position right now. I was this close to being born in the Congo. 1986, my parents get married here in Atlanta. They're planning on going back to the Congo. My dad has an accident. They can't go anymore. That close. That could have been me there, struggling, trying to figure out where my next meal is going to come from, trying to figure out if I'm ever going to go to school, if I have an opportunity to be better. Just that simple. So when I express that to a lot of the young Congolese people, that it could have been you, it could have been you, just that time frame, it could have been you, then you should know what's going on. You should pay attention to those things. You should want to learn more about it. My sisters, they're young, they don't want to go to the Congo because of all the bad things that they hear. And yes, what's going on in the Congo is absolutely heinous. It's terrible. Terrible is probably not even, or heinous is not even the word to describe it. It's beyond that. But that's not stopping, that shouldn't stop young Congolese people from talking about their country, embracing their country, their culture. And then in turn, if you love your culture, others will be able, oh, okay, she likes being Congolese, maybe I should learn about that. Maybe I should figure out where the Congo is. Maybe I should talk to somebody who's Congolese. Before I did the pageant, I would always say, well, maybe I should have been Nigerian. They have a lot of friends. They go out with each other. They hang out. They do all kinds of things. Maybe I should have been from Ghana. They hang out with each other. They have nice movies. Their music is nice. But I'm not. I'm Congolese. Why can I accept that? Why can I love that? So once I started kind of getting into being Congolese and speaking the language publicly, I've always known how to speak Lingala, which is the language of the Congo, one of the languages of the Congo. I've always known how to speak it, but was always ashamed to in front of people. But once I started to do that, people, oh, I like that. That sounds nice. Oh, okay. Here I was, ashamed, didn't want to speak it in front of anybody. My mom would call me in the store. I'd be like, oh, my God, be quiet. Shh, don't call me. But then I realized people liked hearing it. What was the problem with it? Just embracing, and that's what Embrace the Sky does, embracing yourself first. Because I could hang with the best of them. I could be at the club, dancing, enjoying music, doing all those kinds of things. But there was something else that was sparked from being Congolese and understanding what's going on there. I was born here. I'm an American. But I can't forget those who came before me, my grandparents who are still there, who are still struggling, those in the Eastern Congo who are dying every day. I can't forget that. So when people ask me, are you African American? Yes, I'm African American. But I'm also Congolese American. I'm more specifically a Congolese American. And they ask me, oh, okay. Then we go back again. Where's Congo? There we go. Just by expressing that, by being able to express that to people, it pulls more in to the cause. Even just a little bit, just by them knowing just a little bit about the Congo. It changes things. People call me now. Well, what are you guys doing now? Is it still going on? Yes. Talk about it. Tell people about it. I'm going to conclude and say that there are a lot of things happening in the globe. Even here in Atlanta, the youth are just on fire in all cultures and in all different areas of immigration and all these different things. The youth are on fire. And one of the things I want to say is gather the youth. Tell them, look, there's things going on that you should be involved in. Let them know it's okay for you to get involved. It's not just grown folks' business anymore. Because one day you'll be grown folks, and then you'll be running things. But you need to know how to interact with your brothers and sisters. You need to be able to know how to unify people. You need to know about these things because that will be you leading. So I just want to thank you guys for listening to me for that short time. And I hope I shared something with you about myself and my experience as a Congolese American, trying to bring my friends along, those young people along with me, and showing them that we can do something. We don't have all the answers, but we can start somewhere together, unified together. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantal. I love that coming of age story because not only did she come of age, but she decided she would do something about it. You know, it's one thing growing up and just growing, but it's another thing realizing what you can do to bring about change and then acting on it. We're very grateful. Before we introduce our next presenter, I'd like you to know that Lumumba, the Friends of Congo, have a couple copies of Lumumba here, just 2, okay? And you can get one. I don't know if some of you remember the premiere of Lumumba that I did a long time ago here in Atlanta, way out on the other side of the universe, but we came and supported in numbers. The DVD is available, and also T-shirt. Okay, so please support the Friends of the Congo. And also, at some point this afternoon, you'll all receive a participation